Hey, what's happening, everyone? Just wanted to give you an update, what I've been doing. The last video showed you some of the stuff I'd done on the layout, and then the last part was really talking about the laser I purchased and trying to get through it. And the overall goal was to start making buildings, structures, cars. One of the ones I talked about was the snowplow, the rotary snowplow, which you can see right in the right hand side there. So like I said, I was using Inkscape, making drawings. It's been a slow process as far as learning how to draw, how to then convert it into the G code, and then outputting that into a PC to load into the thing. Anyways, so here's what I've made so far. This is the first structure. I believe I showed some of the cuts and what have you, but this is the finished product. It was, I would say, primarily almost 100% made with the laser. So you can see the roof supports there I made, and that was using the plywood. Here's the inside of the model. So I used two sides. I think I'd said that in the last model. Because anytime you build with wood, especially balsa wood or basswood or whatever you use, it warps like crazy. And if you paint with any acrylic paint or even any lacquers or anything, once it absorbs, it's going to paint and warp and do all sorts of stuff. So the best way to prevent that is to double it up, is get it as thick as possible, and to paint both sides, because then they react equally. So this one I finished up. The colors, this was actually a reefer yellow to start with. Came out too bright, so then I hit it up with diluted white, and I got it right to pretty much the color I wanted. And then these are all Grant Line windows, and then I just put the clear glass in there, and then finished it off with some curtains. Like I said, this is based loosely off of, I believe they call it a section house that the Rio Grande uses. The reason for the miscolored shingles is because I didn't have enough on hand to finish it with them. So once I weather the roof, it'll blend together, and I think it'll look pretty good. And then a Grant Line chimney on the top. Like I said, 100% wood. So the wood I'm using is a combination. So this is actually plywood. It's 1/8 inch that I got from Hobby Lobby. If you guys have them near you. So you can see it's about a 3-ply. And surprisingly, this actually cuts pretty good with this laser. If you do get one of these, air assist, so basically air blowing into the cut to blow out the soot and everything else, helps immensely. So I've been using this for the interior structures on some pieces, because most plywoods are pretty stable, so they're not going to deform too much. And this stuff's pretty cheap. You can see I've been testing and trying to make interlocking boxes, which I still haven't done, but so you can see here's one of the cuts for the rotary snowplow. And then this was, I think this is 3mm, or actually this is 2mm, just basswood that's scribed. Got it at my local hobby shop here. And this is just, they have all different versions. So this is what I've been working on pretty much primarily, I would say, the last, well, if you include the time building it, probably a week. So this was here's the kit, a Durango press. It's their rotary snowplow kit. So these things are, I don't know how long they've been making them, but they're pretty old. So like any old Craftsman kit, it basically comes with a bunch of wood blanks and some drawings. And this is what you're supposed to make the piece out of. And if you've ever cut this thin basswood that comes with it, like this, man, this stuff just falls apart once you start cutting it. especially if you're going to try and do all these intricate cuts like they have here. Plus it's really thin, and if you've ever used this stuff and trying to even put like a wood backer on here, this stuff is just, it's really hard to work with. So what I wanted to do was to make my model, but use the laser. So basically it's kind of been a learning curve, like I said, but I took these drawings and measured them with a set of veneer calipers and then transposed that onto Inkscape, drawing them. And I've got them pretty close. Most, like these sidewalls actually came out pretty much spot on. I think this front wall I may have to resize if I were to build another one. But once you get a design down, it actually really helps out. So you can see I actually built the inner core, which is this in here. That was using the 1/8" plywood, and that basically is just something for it to, the back to glue onto, to stiffen it up. You know, if I'd done it again, you know, you could probably change where the inner pieces go, but none of it's really visible through the windows, so it works out pretty good. And then the outside was cut using, I'm going to say 2mm, whatever this is. And then once they're all cut, I basically just glued it all together using wood glue, and then made all these roof supports. It actually only calls for 2, I think, and I added more. But having the laser cut pieces really helped out. I mean, into the windows and all that stuff. It was pretty close. I think these windows, they may have been a little oversized in my design, but so you can see I've got probably a majority of the detail done on this side. This side I haven't even started on. I just wanted to show some progress of what's going on. And then the actual rotary. And they're all white metal parts. I don't know if these are pewter or if they're the ones with a mixture of lead, but with any of these you got to take precautions, you know, wash your hands and clean up all the filings and stuff. And the castings have actually been pretty good as far as going together. But this is one of the older kits, so the black plastic you see is an older black styrene. It's real brittle. I really didn't have any problems with this, but the chute here, it comes as a flat piece and it has score marks and you're supposed to bend it. As soon as I did that, the whole thing just exploded. So I ended up just making a new one out of styrene. And I just ran a brass rod through it. So it actually will go to either side, which I thought was kind of cool because that's how it really works. So it's not going to be powered. That's just a lot of work. This plastic piece it's not built for that. So it's just a small little round opening where the shaft goes through, which is a white metal shaft with this plastic. If you were trying to power this thing, it would eat itself apart, you know, in a matter of days. So you really have to do a lot of engineering, you know, get like a bronze bushing in there, or change this out to a steel shaft, that kind of stuff to really make it into be a powered model. But yeah, like used a lot of the styrene because this actually comes with press board or cardboard type material. Like this is the tender, which I'm not going to use. I'm going to figure something out. But trying to use this stuff, you know, it's probably good back in 80s and so on, but now we have a lot better stuff. And then here's part of the tender, which is just an embossed sheet. Again, won't be using that. Either going to build one out of styrene, or maybe try and find a kit that's commercially available that will get me close. But there is a roof for this. It's around here somewhere, but I'm probably going to change it to styrene. I prefer styrene. It's a lot easier to work with. It's pretty stable. You can see that's what I used for the floor, and then also for the center for the bolster to mount the trucks to. Because this white metal, if you've built these kits before, trying to get them to go square and to line up is a pain. You can see all the sand marks. I actually took a die grinder and leveled it all off so this thing would sit somewhat level, and then also to get the desired height, because I think the dimensions show for 3 feet. The instructions, if you're going to build one of these, are really spotty, so be prepared to go out, and I would recommend, if I get it in the shot here, this book, the Quick Pick book. Just a lot of good photos of a lot of the small details, because the instructions don't call out for a lot of the stuff. One of the ones I saw in this book was these bars that go over the window there and all the grab irons. Plus you got the mesh going over the headlight there. None of that stuff comes in the kit. It's just stuff I had laying around. And then you're probably wondering, I don't know if you are, but this tube in here, trying to figure out a good way to solidly mount this thing without coming apart. So I made a styrene block that goes through an opening there, and then this tube goes through there, and then it fits perfectly over the output shaft of this plastic, so it glues in and holds it in place. Because trying to glue this styrene to wood, it's just going to keep popping off, because that's how I like to build stuff, is actual mechanical, holding it. Like this actually has rods, 15 thousandths brass rods going all the way through, up, and I use this platform so it's a lot more secure. So that way, when you handle the model, it's not going to get just blown off, because that drives me crazy after you get it painted and it's done, and you got to go back and fix it, and it usually looks terrible. So just trying to keep it brief. Just want to give an update what I've been doing. So hopefully the next video I'll either have this done or close to completion, and I'll show it to you. Instead of, in the past, I've always just done, hey, here's a completed model. So I want to try and show, what it looks like in the building process and kind of the steps I've had to go through. If anybody is interested in the files for this, just contact me and I can send them to you. They're going to be in G code, so you can pretty much use anything. Like I said, I use laser Gerbil to do the cutting. Hopefully they're close enough to get you in the ballpark to get you started. Otherwise, yeah, this is a pretty involved kit, and to build it without it would probably be pretty difficult. So anyways, hope everything's going good with you guys, and just wanted to give you an update. See ya.